स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वातरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः। So we already finished the first chapter of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, a dialogue between Lord Death and Nachiketas. Right now we are entering into the second chapter of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Of course, Kaṭha Upaniṣad have two chapters. Each chapter has 3 sections, 1, 2, 3. In Sanskrit, it is called Valli, means creeper. Anyway, we will translate into sections. The first chapter holding 3 sections we already completed. Now we are entering into the second chapter and the first session. Of course, it's a continuation of the instructions of Lord Yama to Nachiketas. I would like to read again the previous shloka, which was the end of the first chapter, third section, 17th shloka. Just I will read and I will give a brief explanation what we have already saw in the last class. Then I will enter into the second chapter, first section, first shloka. So I will read the previous shloka which we have concluded already. Yayimam paramam guhyam shravayed brahma samsati prayata shraddhakaleva tadanantyaya kalpate tadanantyaya kalpate iti. I already mentioned you the last 2 verses in the third chapter of the first section is pricing the whole dialogues between Lord Yama and Nachiketas. The reality is being established by a question raised by Nachiketas through the words of Lord Yama, which is for the whole humanity, which is to be followed by the whole humanity. If anybody want to go through the spiritual life and to reach that liberation. So the last two verses are quoted by the Upanishad. Upanishad itself says, Mrityu Proktam Sanatanam. What is told by the Lord death is something extraordinary, unique, and it will be always new as long as the time passes. It will be always new, Sanatanam, and one should perform. And some other things Upanishad says through this shlokan. Ye imam paramam guhyam, that which is very secret, which is hidden as the base of all names and forms, but it is the ultimate thing to be sought by the all living beings. Even though it is sought to be, all living beings, it is not possible. Only human beings can seek after that. All other living beings don't have teacher or traditional teachings, etc., etc., which is the goal of each and every living being. Of course, we are all behind the ultimate happiness and want to be secure in our life each and every moment. But the total security and the total happiness is centered on, both are centered on Atma Jnana, knowledge about oneself, which is delivered by Lord Death to Nachiketas. If you want security in your life, if you want to be total secure in your life, one should follow the Atma Jnana, knowledge about the self. If one wants total happiness, which is not momentary, which should be eternal, if one seeks, then one should follow the knowledge delivered by Lord Death. So Upanishad itself says that this is the ultimate reality, this is the ultimate goal to be followed by each and every human being, even though it is not possible, because people have different pursuits, which is good, which is going to stay in the next, which in the first verse, which is the next verse to be studied. That secret which is revealed by Lord Death to Nachiketas, if one can chant or talk in front of the Guru Parampara, in the middle of Brahmanas, they say, those who are wise and intelligent, those who can understand something, what you are talking or what you are chanting. In the midst of all these people, if one can chant, then what will be the result? One other thing also, Upanishad says that these verses which are given by the Lord Death to Nachiketas, if one repeat, if one recites in the time of Shraddha, the ritual which is done every year to the people who have departed from this world. That says it's a custom in India. On that particular day of demise, every year, we do certain rituals, and that whole ritual is called Shraddham. If a person can or recite, if a person is equipped to recite these verses at the moment of Shraddha Kalam, or in the midst of intelligent people, those who are ready to listen, not in the midst of drunks or alcoholics. I want to say that people who are not interested are the majority. So you need not repeat in front of everybody. You repeat, you discuss, you keep in front of somebody who is ready to listen you. One who know the value of what you have studied, what you are reciting in front of them. That is to be understood properly. So here, Brahmana means intelligent people, wise people who can think beyond the laws, who are not materialists. They are interested what you have studied. They are interested about the reality of the world, or what you are reciting. If they have they should have the enthusiasm. Those type of people here it's mentioned. Shraddha Kale, at the moment of Shraddham, the particular ritual which is done in the name of the person who have departed from the world, every year on that particular date, that Shraddha will be done. On that time, if one can recite, that person will reach Anantyaya Kalpade. He is fit, he is qualified, she is qualified to reach the unlimited entity, Anantyaya Kalpade. What is unlimited entity? That which never starts, that which never ends, that will be always with you, which is you. That reality is called Atman or Brahman. One will realize that Brahman because of this recitation of the verses which is given by Lord Death to Nachiketas. And in order to mention that this chapter is concluded, the last line is repeated. Last line is repeated again by the Upanishad, Tadanantyaya Kalpate iti. That person who can recite in the time of Shraddha Kala, that person who can recite in front of intelligent people, that means spreading the entity towards the noble-hearted people, giving them the idea or the reality about the world. If one can give to them, that person is fit for knowing the unlimited entity, that Brahman. He will be qualified. He will become a qualified person, or she will become a qualified person, one who can recite daily. Of course, these verses are meant for that only. It's not in the prose. It's all in the name of word. It's all in the form of verses. Verses are very easy to chant. Any story can be put into verses so that it can be easily by-hearted, and it can be easily chanted. The whole content will be inside your heart, in the memory. So these verses is to be chanted properly by the person who has total commitment towards this advice given by the Lord Death towards Nachiketas. Thus, we conclude the first chapter. Now we enter into the second chapter, first section, first shloka. We already given the PDF of the second chapter. Those who are in the group, one who can follow the Sanskrit or English, they can look on that. They can follow on that. If not, just you listen what I am saying. I am already repeating the verses one or two times. So the beauty of the Sanskrit also you can understand. And also, I want you to get more encouraged by listening towards these verses of Lord death given to Nachiketas. So I will read the verse and we will proceed to the meaning. The first verse, Paranchikani Vitranat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyadi Nantaratman Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyakatmanamaikshat Avrata Chakshuhu Amritatvamichan. Once more I will repeat. Paranchikani Vedranat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nantaratman Kaschidhiraha Pratyakatmanamaikshat Avritta Chakshuhu Amritatvamichan. Very, very important and beautiful verse. Before entering to the meaning of the verse, few verses written by Lord Shankara to enter into this verse. Some connection, sambandham is given. I will read that sambandham in Sanskrit and I'll give you the English meaning. Written by Lord Shankara. We are seeing the meaning of each and every verse in the base of Shankara's commentary. Shankara has written commentary for the sake of understanding without any dispute or any contradiction or without any doubt. So anybody can understand if there is a basic knowledge in Sanskrit. So I will read that, what Shankara has written, and I will give that connection meaning, and we will enter into the verse. He says, Yeshaha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhatma na prakashate drishyade tu agraya buddhaya iti uktam. It is already mentioned or told, iti yuktam, by the Lord Death. What he has mentioned, it shows that it's a bit difficult for the ordinary people to understand what is Atman. So here it is told, we have already mentioned, I mean, the Lord Death already mentioned in the third section of the first chapter, 12th shloka, Yeshaha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhatma na prakashate. This Atma, the entity, will not shine even though it is obvious, which is hidden, which is secret, bhuteshu, in each and every living being in the world. That is why everybody is sentient, due to the presence of Atma. This Atma is hidden in each and every living being. Because it is hidden, even though it is obvious, not seen by anybody. But drishyate tu agraya buddhaya, with a sharp intellect, with a commitment towards the reality, this reality is been established by the foreseers, rishis, because of their subtle intellect. This is already mentioned by the Upanishad. Shankara says that, quoting this verse. Then he repeats, then he writes, Kaha punaha pradibandhaha. Then what is the obstacle? Even though it is obvious, it's not revealed directly for anybody because it is hidden. It's been covered by the names and forms. Then what is the obstacle? If some agraya buddhyaya yena, agraya buddhehe yena, one who has sharp intellect, for them, what is the obstacle? It's very easy, already mentioned by the Upanishad. If there is a person who is having sharp intellect or commitment towards the spirituality, he can understand. Then what is the obstacle then? Tadabhavat atmana drishyate. If the person doesn't have the commitment towards the spirituality or missing the sharp intellect, then this Atma will be missing. Atmana drishyate. One will make the birth futile. It will be useless. After getting a human birth, one should know the reality behind the creation and reality behind oneself, knowing that a person will reach the ultimate reality, that what is called liberation or emancipation, freedom from all sorrows. But if we don't work right now in this human birth, this birth will become futile. All other things we have enjoyed in the another birth, previous birth also. Having a pair along with us, having some material pursuits like children, food, etc., etc., house, vehicle, all these things we have enjoyed, which is temporary in this world. If a person is not ready to know the reality or not having the commitment, tadabhavat, the subtle, that if the person is mixing with the sharp intellect, without the thoughts about the reality, then his birth will be useless. Even though he may be a multi-millionaire, he will have a lot of houses, he will be a very rich person, everything is possible in front of him, everything is okay. The point is, the person will be missing the obvious, the reality will be missing. Again, he will go through different births after departing from the human body. In order to cut off, in order to put an end for this travel through different living beings, one should know the reality about oneself. In order to know the reality, one should have the sharp intellect and commitment. Tadabhava, if there is a missing of sharp intellect and the commitment, then tat adarshana karana pradarshanaartha. Then if there is a missing of sharp intellect and commitment towards the spirituality after getting the human birth, then this birth will become futile. In order to show that, tad adarshanam, he will not establish the Atma himself or herself. The Atma will not be revealed for oneself if we are not committed. Tad abhava. there will be a possibility of missing the obvious, because natural instinct will make the person to pursue this material world. It's been shown in this verse which we are going to study. So, if we don't have the commitment, if we don't have the sharp intellect apart from our body notion, we will miss the obvious. In order to show that tada abhava pradarshana, tad adarshana karana pradarshanartha. In order to show that if we don't commit for this, a second chapter is being begun. That is, there are obstacles and the human birth will become futile if you don't see the obvious. Not to make the human birth futile, one should pursue the reality in one's life in order to show that the second chapter is begun. Vijñādehi, by knowing this, Shreya Pratibandha Karane, which is the obstacle, which are the obstacles for the Shreyas, which is my real nature, those obstacles which are hindering my vision towards the reality. By knowing that, if we come to know what is the real obstacle, in the pursuit of a reality, in the pursuit of Atma, by knowing that, I can nullify, I can destroy, I can eliminate. Tat apanayanaya, in order to eliminate, yatnaha arabdhum shakyade. We can put an effort. Yatnaha arabdhum. We can start to put an effort. Shakyade. If we come to know what are the real obstacles in my daily life, in knowing the reality, which are the hinders, which are the real obstacles towards my reality, if I come to know, I can put some effort to remove that. For that only, Lord Yama again talks about the same Atman and the obstacles which are in the pursuit of the reality, or which are obstructing the vision of Atma. So in order to show that, we start the second chapter. This is the connection given by the Lord Shankara. Very beautiful. I will repeat again what Shankara wants to say. Shankara start with says 17th sloka of the third section of the first chapter. Atma cannot be seen by our eyes, which are visible eyes, because Atma is hidden in each and every living being. It is formless. Only the sharp intellect people, only the people who have committed 4 years can see the Atma, which is oneself. All others will live a life what is seen outside. So, by quoting this, he says few words. If we come to know what are the real obstacles in our pursuit of knowing the Atma, we can work on that. We can put effort on that to remove the obstacles. In order to show the obstacles, we start the second chapter. What Yama says now, after giving the advice properly, he elaborates in order to remove the obstacles in the pursuit. So Shankara gives a connection, and I will now read again the verse and I will give word by word meaning. Paranchikani Vetranat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyadina Antaratman. These are the first two lines of the verse. What is the first word? Paranchi. Paranchi means Paran Anchati, looking towards outside. Our eyes are connected. Our eyes are designed by the Creator just for looking outside. It cannot see itself. If you want to see the eyes, you have to look at the mirror. In the creation, the eyes are designed to see the external things other than what it is. So the eyes are always looking outside. Paran Anchati. Paranchikani. Paran Anchati. Parag Anchati. Gachati. So looking outwards, the eyes are designed. So what will happen? Kani means senses. Kani means all senses can understand the external things. Our tongue can sense the taste of salt and sugar. Our eyes can see the beautiful mountain and the river. It cannot see himself. Our nasika, the nose, can sense the smell and fragrance around. It himself doesn't have the capacity. What is the smell of the nose? The ears can listen the voice from the external world. But himself, it doesn't have the capacity how I am arranged or designed. This is called Parag Anchati Kani. Kani means senses. So, in brief, the Lord, the Creator, designed this superimposition, which is the body, to look outside. So the senses will be always looking outside. Ears will listen to the voice. Eyes will look upon the forms. The nose will be always getting this smell of the atmosphere. Where we are going, in which situation we are going through, from there we will get some smell. In Rishikesh, we have 3 bridges across Ganges. And each and every bridge have name also. Ram Chula, in the name of Rama. Lakshman Jula, the brother of Rama. Bridge in the name of Lakshman. And her wife name, Janaki Chula. So this Janaki Chula, the Janaki bridge, is made over the Ganga, but it starts from one side. There is a funeral ground right in the banks of Ganges. the beginning of the one side of the bridge, in the shore of Ganges, there is a funeral ground, because it's a custom that local people bring their dead bodies and bury in the shore of Ganges, so that that person will attain heaven. It's a belief. It's okay. If that person can attain heaven, the fishes which are living in the Ganges should also attain heaven, because they are always in the Ganges, not in the shore. Fine. It's a belief according to the tradition. Fine. So the cremation will be going on and the people will be walking through the bridge. All people will get the smell of the barbecue. Even though the Rishikesh, when you walk through the shops or in the streets, you will get the fragrance of different incense sticks, etc., etc., some beautiful fragrance of essential oil, etc., etc. But if you start to walk through this Janaki bridge, one side, the cremation will be always going on in the daytime. You will get the smell of the human dead body getting burned, and the smell will be always there everywhere. So in which situation you are going, the smell, the nose will pick up the smell and give to your mind. Parag Anchati. It runs around. All our reporters, five senses runs around and pick up the different things and bring to the mind. Kani, senses. This is how it is designed, the whole creation, in all creation. Okay. Paran, Paranchikani, Vetranat Soyambhuhu. Vetranat, very beautiful word actually. Missing. Soyambhuhu, which is within oneself. Soyambhuhu. Bhu means getting birth. Swayambhuhu means there is no something behind the reality. It's always there. That's what it is called Nityam. The consciousness, which is all pervasive, is not born out of some other entity. It is there permanently. That is what it is called eternal. Nityam. In Sanskrit, is called Nityam. It is not born out of some other entity. If it was born from some other entity, we have to study about that entity, not about this entity. This entity is Nityam. I am not changing. I already given a lot of logics. That is why I can coordinate, or I can think about the things happened in my at the age of 5 years, when I was 5 years. That means I am not changing. Even the body is changing continuously. I am not changing. That's why whatever things happened in my childhood, even now, I recollect. Because that personality, that person, that individual never changes at any time. The same person continues, 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 always nitya, permanent. So, Swayambhu, that person which is the locus of creation and this body, that person is being missed. Vetranat cannot be seen. It is not available due to the outgoing, due to the senses which are always outgoing. They are external. They are looking outwards. Okay. Vitranat Swayambhu. Missing the reality, it goes outwards. All the senses goes outwards. Paranchikani Vitranat Swayambhu. All they will have the tendencies for outgoing tendencies. They will run out always. External objects towards external objects. Sound, form, smell, etc. etc. Parananchati. And due to this, these senses are incapable, not having the capacity to see the reality about oneself. They are not means, this is the thing I want you to realize. Your senses are not means to realize the reality. They can study from a traditional teacher, they can listen some voice, they can read some books, but they themselves will not show, or they are not the means in order to understand the reality, because they are not means at all. They can see outside things. Upanishad and Yama itself says that Paran Paraganjati Kani. All the senses are looking outwards. They cannot reveal your real nature. Lord Yama says to Nachiketas, these senses can see something other than what they are, because they don't have the capacity to think about what is the reality behind their actions. Which consciousness is present behind their all sentient activities. This self-evident and self-effulgent Atma being present in the body, all the senses involved in their own respected activities. Without the presence of Atma, they are inert. They cannot involve in any of the activities. We call them mritam. They are not at all having independent capacity to reveal any external thing. Because the presence of the sentient entity, what we call Brahman or Atma, these senses are capable of going outward and revealing the respected field towards the mind. Make sure that the senses are not capable to reveal the Atman. So, Tasmad Parang Pashyadi na Antaratman. Because of this, because they are designed to reveal the external things, because they are always running outward, their manufacture itself is like that. They came from the company looking outwards. They don't go inside looking inside. So, tasmad, therefore, whatever they reveal externally is not the reality. It can be Lord Shiva, it can be Lord Buddha, it can be Lord Jesus, it can be some other divine personality. If you see a form, that is not truth. Don't believe on that. It's all for the sake of certain maturity. We keep something other than what I am. It may be Lord Shiva, it may be Lord Buddha, it may be anything. All these things can give you certain amount of security in one's own life. So don't believe what the things picked up by the eyes and put inside you. This is Lord. Because being the Lord within you, you are the Lord. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. We have different Mahavakyas, lot of Mahavakyas revealing the fact that I am the eternal, resourceful, endless Brahman. Then how can I believe an idol? How can I believe a person who is in the meditation form and how can I rely on that? In order to reach that, as the beginner, we can rely on some entity, no problem, other than what I am. But Upanishad itself negate that. Whatever things you pick up from this external world, they are not the Lord, or they are not going to be the truth of the creation. Paran Anchati, because they are designed to see the external things, they will not reveal your intrinsic nature. Vedanat Swayambhu, which doesn't have a birth, start, or which doesn't end, which never end. Swayambhu. Swayambhu, Shankara says, very beautiful. Shankara says that what is a Swayambhu? Swayameva Satantraha Bhavadi Sarvata na Paratantraha Swayambhuhu Parameshwaraha. The creator is always independent, free. He is not at all having any kind of limitations or bondages or any kind of sufferings, because I am formless actually. My intrinsic nature is formless. So here he quotes that Sarvata na Paratantraha. I am not dependent. Sarvata, all the time I am free. I am not connected with my wife. I am not connected with my kids. I am not connected with my household things. I am not connected with anything in the world. So throughout all your responsibilities and everything, keeping in the mind, I am not talking about you can act. Your kids are growing. Your wife need you nearby. Everything is there. But don't keep that burden. I am responsible for them. If I am not there, who will take care of them? Don't be a lizard who is supporting the roof, We think sometimes like lizards. Lizards thinks that I am supporting the roof. If I am not there, the roof will be falling down. We don't think like that. Life will survive, kids will survive, everything will survive up to an end. They have their own destiny. You think about your destiny. You want freedom, you want liberation, go through the Vedanta and study under a traditional teacher. These responsibilities and these attachments may not become the obstacles in this glorious pursuit. Everything has gone. Never think also about the age. Oh, my age is gone. I didn't study. No, you are in charge now. You have the charge now. You have all the charge now. Your senses are working. Age is a number. You can listen. And in the pursuit of spirituality, age is not a criterion. Anytime anybody can enter, because that Atman never goes down or up. Even you are feeling that I am a householder, it doesn't become a householder. It was staying as Atma only. Now you think that now I am free. Still Atma is ever free. It doesn't have any kind of limitation as our thinking. So age is always a number. Asukter amrutet kalam nayed vedanta chintaya. When the day starts, you think to start about Vedanta. Till the last moment of the day, when you go to bed, Asukte, Amrite, till the last moment of the departure from this body. Nair Mevan lead Vedanta Chintaya. With the glorious thoughts of Vedanta, Mevan take that as their leading captain. Let the Vedanta become our captain of our life. So, here it says that Sarvada na Paratantraha is never a dependent personality. My body needs some dependency. I am depending on different things. I need food. Immediately after the class, I am going to take some food because my body has to survive. Correct? We all need water. We need gravitational force to survive in this earth. Everything, lot of things we are depending for our survival. But the intrinsic nature, who am I? That intrinsic nature, because I am not knowing that intrinsic nature, I myself conclude that I am a dependent personality. But in reality, I am independent. Swayameva swatantraha, na paratantraha. I am always free, limitless. My body have a lot of limitations regarding the skin, regarding the hair, regarding. I am not limited. My body has limitation. It can be. It's a glory. Sarvata swatantra. Ever I am free. I am free right from the beginning. I will continue to be free. All the roles are incidental. Household wife, household things. I'm a businessman. Everything are incident. Whatever come to me. In reality, I am free. That's called Swayambhu. This Swayambhu being missing, I think myself, this body I am, and I leave my senses, go around and pick up the things from outside and it will come towards me. Parang pashyadi na antara. Only sees the external things, na antaratman. It never see, it never go to an inquiry about the reality which is myself, Atman. The word Atma we got from the book called in India Linganushasana, written by Varahamihira, a famous poet, a famous grammarian. So he gives what is Atma. Yacha apnodi yad adatte yachati vishayaniha yachasya santato bhavaha tasmad atma idi kirtyade. How I get the word Atma? That means Yacha apnodi, that which is expanded all over the creation. Because I am not a limited consciousness which is only inside the body. No, it is expanded. It is everywhere, all pervading. Yacha apnodi yadadatte, one who enjoys all these worldly things. Because of the sentience of myself, I enjoy, I see, I listen, I can smell, everything happens. By whose blessing, by whose presence, everything can be a, 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 a thing for the pleasure. I can enjoy myself. I am a bhokta. Yachati vishayaniva. All the subjects, all the things for whom everything becomes a subject. Chati Vishayaniha. And that which is ever present never gets changes. Ever present, completely always in the same level. That thing is called Atman. Chati Vishayaniha. one who enjoys the things, one who is all-pervading, one who is generating everything and resolves everything. Srishti and Sthiti, creation and resolution. Just make the things to an end. One who have this capacity and always in the eternal nature, never goes ups and down. Some fade will come, sometimes energy loss. That's all related to body. That which is never changing. That thing is called Atma. He says that because the word Antaratman comes here. Shankara says in commentary, we got the word Atma from Linganushasana or Linga Puranam. It can be. So, Paranchikani, the senses are designed to go external, and it will collect the things from the external world, so that it misses the reality, Vetranat Swayambhu, which is always independent. Therefore, Tasmad Parang Pashyadi, always I go out external world, extrovert, myself, my senses are extrovert, so that I don't see my reality. My Antaratman is missing. My pursuit is completely external. I am always in the material pursuit. I am not thinking about myself, which is the goal of a human being. We will stop here. We will continue with the third and fourth sentence in the next class. Very beautiful words. One needs to know more and more. I'm going to explain more and more in the next class about this verse, and only we will go to the next verse. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Brahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Suginaha Sarve Santu Dhiramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschat Dukkha Bhavet Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamutachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om